So this is a yin practice for teenagers or young adults, really for anyone that's looking to relax, especially over this quieter period. So it's around Christmas time at the moment. So it's quite a period where we might not be in school or in college or university. We've got a little gap, but maybe there's some build up happening into next year and we're aware of perhaps a busy period coming. So actually using this gap, this little space of time that we have, these few weeks, to relax a little bit more where we can, to use the practice of yin, which is about being as really passive and relaxed and giving in a little bit where we can, or as much as possible, to help us just come back to ourselves a little bit so we can feel a little bit more calm and ready. We'll be sitting in silence for this practice, and I know sitting in silence can be really tricky, really uncomfortable. So I'm going to offer you a few useful techniques which might help to sit in those silent periods while it's a bit challenging. So physically we'll be stretching the body a bit. So while we're experiencing the physical challenge of stretch or the discomfort, we might feel tension in the body, how can we sit still with that but feel calm and in control and like we're back with ourselves a little bit. So before we get started, get a nice comfortable space set up for yourself, maybe in your bedroom or a quiet space, somewhere away from other people in the house, so you're not distracted. You don't really even need a mat, you could do it on your carpet, but maybe some cushions or some blankets might feel nice, and you can keep your socks on, feel warm and comfortable. So when you're ready, let's begin. So we're going to start with a cushion or a blanket. I've got a nice big cushion here. You might want to grab a couple and fold them over. And I'm just going to simply roll my cushion over. And I'm going to have it underneath my back, where I'm going to start to slowly lower myself down. Okay, now you might want something for your head, a little cushion or a thin brick, if we can't quite get to the floor with the head and it's pulling on the neck. So if you need a little bit of something, grab an extra cushion or whatever you've got handy. It could even just be a rolled up top. You really don't need anything fancy for this, just grab what you've got available to you. And we'll have the hips on the floor, either the knees bent or the legs straight, whatever feels more comfortable, especially on the lower back. And the other option is you could also bring your soles of the feet together and let the legs fall apart. So there's 2 or 3 options to explore, something that feels comfortable, like the stretch isn't too intense. And we're starting with a slightly reclined position where we're opening the front and the back of the body. Now we're going straight into a very open position, which might feel a little bit intense, a little bit overwhelming. So if you need to bring the palms to the belly or the hands somewhere onto the body for comfort, you might want to have one palm on the other. Just a touch of skin on skin is one way to access our second kind of nervous system, a way of soothing, feeling connected and calm and safe. So if you'd like to even kind of put your hands into your sleeves there and hold opposite arms, you can, or let the arms fall away from you to open out a little bit the shoulders. So when you found somewhere that you feel you can start to become still into the shape and into the position, take a breath. Just allow yourself to take a moment to breathe. And let's just take 2 or 3 more breaths here, trying to just breathe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe with a sigh out through the mouth or a breath out through the nose. You might feel a little bit uncomfortable for a little while here. Physically, if there's tension anywhere, it might feel like there's some real stretch happening. And also we're in a very open position where sometimes we can feel a little bit vulnerable, a little bit not sure what's happening, or not sure why we're here. So we feel comfortable, we feel safe. Again, remember, you can have the hands on the body, or the touch of skin on skin. You may want to keep the eyes softly open or closed. When you've tested out all these little options and you found somewhere that feels just right for you, trying to relax the belly, relax the chest, relax the ribs, and maybe even there's a possibility of relaxing the face. And in the practice of yin yoga, we really try to stretch the body in a passive way. So by that, we're not squeezing or pushing or pulling or pressing. In theory, there's nothing you need to do here. And I know for a lot of us, this can be a really hard idea to get ahead around. There's nothing I need to do. So me just saying those words, there's nothing you need to do, how does that make you feel? Does that create something uncomfortable? Are we resistant to that? Do we make any sense of that at all? Let's just take a breath in that moment, a deep breath in through the nose, and we'll take a little breath out through the mouth to help facilitate a little bit more giving in, a little bit more easing and not doing. Now, if we're feeling very full in our minds, in our heads, very maybe overwhelmed or just busy brain at the moment, it might be that this is a little bit uncomfortable still, this being as relaxed as we can in a stretch. So here's something that might be useful to help quieten down a little bit our heads, our minds, so that we can try to really enjoy a little bit more this deeper process of relaxation. So for this one, we'll think about counting, just really useful, simple counting. And let's say that when we take a soft breath in, you're able to count, just in your minds, how long you're breathing in full. And then when you exhale softly, how long the exhale lasts for. It might be 2 seconds, it might be 4, it might be 3, it doesn't matter. We're just trying to quieten down a little bit, a busy mind, maybe a fast-paced thinking mind that's just being really stimulated, it's really on the go. Honing in a little bit our concentration and our awareness on just this simple counting and breathing. We'll try to practice this in stillness and silence, let's say for about another half a minute or so, and then I'm going to check in with you guys and see how you're feeling. You may have noticed that your breathing has become maybe a little bit slower, maybe a little bit deeper. Maybe you're feeling a little bit more at ease in the body, on the floor and in the shape that you're in. And even perhaps where you noticed initially tension and that feeling of tightness in the body or even in your breath, perhaps there's been a little subtle shift there. So we're just going to stay still for about another 30 seconds or so. Again, just trying to keep the body relaxed. There's nothing you need to do, achieve, live up to, be, nothing at all. And let's keep the mind as calm as we can here. Feeling a little bit quiet, let's say. And again, just nice and simply every time you breathe in, counting on the inhale. And every time you breathe out, counting on the exhale. And again, I'll meet back with you in about 20 or 30 seconds or so. Maybe this time around it was a little bit easier. There was another distraction. There's always distractions, I can hear them around me. And there's always distractions in life, there's always something. But we're using the practice of yin to really help us learn how to be able to be still and quiet in the middle of all the constant noise and distractions, because we can't turn that stuff off, can't make it go away. But we can control ourselves. We can bring ourselves back into a more calm and yet controlled state of peace and wellness as well. So let's move on to the next yin pose. So we're coming out of our reclined position. We'll slowly bring the legs together, or if you have them straight, bend the knees. We're going to bring the arms into the sides of the body, and we're going to bend a bit the elbows down into the floor or into your cushion, and we're going to brace a little bit the tummy here so we can start to lift up slowly. When you've made it up to sitting, keeping the knees bent, maybe a little roll of the shoulders, so just kind of feeling things out a little bit. We're in a big stretch there for a while. Okay. And we'll press the hands into the floor. I'm just going to move my cushion out of the way. We'll press the hands into the floor. And we're going to extend the spine or arch a little bit into the back and open. And then we're going to take the hands around the front of the shins, let's say, around the back of the knees. And we're going to flex the spine and do the opposite position there. So a little bit rounded in this position. Well done. We're going to then make our way to a neutral position, and we'll do a little brief, not going to be very long, little brief downward facing dog. So just a little symmetrical pose here. We're going to move a little bit back of the legs, bending the knees, maybe just getting a little bit into the legs, arms, pushing them out away if that feels good. And then let's lower the knees back down. And we're going to grab our prop, whether it's a cushion, you've rolled something, and we're going to make it a little bit kind of long and loggy. And then you've got your longish, loggy, nice cushiony supported prop. Taking the knees wide apart as we make our way into our wide knee child's pose. So really just take the legs as wide as your hips feel. They're comfortable with that amount of stretch. And then you can start to lower yourself down. I quite like to hug my cushion, but you haven't got to hug it. You might want to take the arms just in front of you. You may want to take them to the sides or take them behind you. So take a few moments to kind of inspect what feels good for you. And maybe you have your chin in the centre, or the forehead, or your right cheek, or your left cheek. So just for a moment there, getting as comfortable as you can. So now we're opening out the back of the body, the back of the hips, right into the lower back. Maybe feeling a little bit on the thighs, the in, the outer thighs, the front, the back of them. So there's probably going to be some communication here coming from your body to you. And for a moment, can that be all that we hear? So can we only notice how the body feels, what your body is saying to you in this pose, in this stretch? And if this body was communicating to you, which it is, what might it be saying? And then getting really quite skillful about this, guys, if you can, trying to relax a little bit your belly, relax a little bit the chest, maybe softening the shoulders, maybe softening the muscles in the face. So if we're distorting the face in any way, we might not even be aware of it. But if you are perhaps softening or releasing anything in the face where you can. Now again, that can be really hard to do, especially if we're feeling anxious or worried or stressed about anything, or if we're going through just a bit of a hard time for whatever reason. Relaxing can be really hard, but it is possible. And so that we do this and feel safe and that we trust it, another tool that can be useful, I find it useful, is to use mantra, the power of positive words or a statement. So for example, it might be while you're here, you say to yourself, just quietly in your mind, or out loud wide if you prefer, something like, I'm here now, I'm safe, this is all I need right now. I'm here now, I'm safe, and this is all I need right now. So here's another thing to explore, the power of mantra. Think about in this moment, just quietly to yourself, if there's something you could do with saying to yourself. If there's something you feel you need to hear, something reassuring, comforting, kind, and maybe something gentle that you could do with hearing right now. Might just be very simple, like, I need to give myself a break, or I need to let myself relax, or I choose kindness or compassion. So just think for a moment about what feels right for you. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You haven't got to use mantra. You can go back to the counting. But something again that helps us to switch off a little bit in our minds, become more present in this moment that we're in. We'll practice whatever tool we're using, or just simply being still for another 30 seconds, and then we'll check in. And if you need to move at all, if you need to change the position of your neck, please do. And we'll check in again in about 20-30 seconds. Again, just noticing there's distractions. Distractions here, distractions probably where you are, in your home, outside, out on the street, downstairs, wherever it may be. There's constant noise and distractions. So how can we live amongst the distractions and the noise
but feel that we can become a little bit quiet and centered and in a state of control, calm in the midst of the noise. Let's just practice this. Being still, being comfortable if we can in the stillness, using maybe the tools so far to stay still, feeling calm and with ourselves. Let's take one more breath in here. And we're going to start to make our way out of this pose. Several minutes have passed, so what's happened there is we've been stretching a lot of connective tissue, deeper layers of it, surface layers of it. And as you slowly come out, you just want to do it slowly so we don't kind of pull at things that have been stretched for a while. So we just come out nice and slowly. You might just want to bring the knees in a little bit closer to begin with. You can remove anything out of the way. You might just want to sit back for a moment, or straighten out the legs, maybe giving them a little shake out. Take a few breaths. Okay, well done. So there's just one more pose we're going to do. So it's 3 for today. Opening the front of the back body, stimulating a little bit the spine, the nervous system, spinal cord, flossing a little bit the nerve endings as well. And for the last posture we're going to do, it's going to go a little bit into all of that, is going to be a side bend with your legs either crossed, or if you like to take your legs out wide for this, you can. So let's say legs either wide or legs crossed. And with your pillow or your cushion, if we're sitting cross-legged and the knees are kind of a little bit here and things feel really tight, or if we can't quite get to there and things feel a bit tight still on the hips, what might feel nice with your prop is to sit up on something. So just by kind of elevating a little bit the hips a little bit higher can help your natural range of external rotation in the hips, so the knees can naturally lower a little bit down. So play around with what you need. Okay, then when you've got to either legs crossed or legs wider, it's up to you. If you've got another prop or some books work well, or anything at all, we'll pop something here either on the inside of the left leg, or if the legs are crossed, just on the outside of the left leg. So we're going to go to the left first. And I'm actually going to make my props even higher here. I'm going to go for that setup. Lego. So we are going to place the left elbow onto the prop here. And with the right arm, and this really just depends on your shoulder, with the right arm we're going to raise that and let the arm hang over the head. Now this isn't for everybody, this arm setup of hanging. If it just feels like it's really, really hard, like really uncomfortably hard, just feel free to lower it down, as simple as that, yeah? We don't need to be in any pain or discomfort. It might be that you've got your props too high on your left side as well, and there's not a lot of stretch happening here. So actually I've gone too high, I'm going to lower mine and put my elbow lower down, and then with my right arm, fold over. Now actually I'm going to change my mind altogether. So this was the first option, the other option, and I'm going to use my props, I'm going to put them on the inside of the left leg, and I'm going to go wider. So now much more of a stretch on the legs as well as the side body. Okay, when you've found what feels right for you, so you've had a little play around with some options, arm down, arm hanging, legs crossed, legs wide. Take a breath. little sigh. Let the weight of your head rest into your little shelf, your hand. Try to relax a little bit the face. Try to relax a little bit the tummy, relax the ribs, relax the chest. And let's take just a slightly slower breath in and a slower breath out. So we're in a new shape. Breathing, might be wondering what we're doing. Your breath might be a little bit compromised, just wondering what we're doing. And so we stay in a state of calm, not panic, breathing to help keep us feeling calm. Let's do that again. Take a nice slow deep breath in through the nose. And breathing out through nose. And again, I know it's really tricky, but sitting still, whilst we host a little bit of discomfort, the stretch can be a bit uncomfortable. So whilst we're hosting this adequate amount of stretch or discomfort in the body, how can we remain calm and not respond? Not hold the body, tense the body, not respond in our minds in any way, with our breathing in any way. How can we remain as passive and calm and at ease as possible? Because you're in control. You set yourself up here. You listen to your body, you listen to its feedback, and you're listening to your breathing. And ultimately, I want you to feel like you are in control, guys, of how you are responding or not, choosing to behave or not, in this moment. So, again, if this is a struggle, which I know it can be, and it's totally fine if it is, maybe we come back to the mantra. I'm safe here, I'm fine here, I can breathe here, for example. Or if that doesn't work, maybe we're trying to focus on the breath. And we're counting slowly as we breathe. And actually maybe we try to make the inhale and the exhale last just a little bit longer. So as you breathe in through the nose and as you count, let's say you could add on a second, maybe 2 seconds to your inhale. And a second or 2 to your exhale. Again, not forcing anything, just making the breath last a little bit longer, spacing out a little bit breath. So we feel like we've got some space here, space to be still and breathe. And I'm going to be quiet with you again for about 30 seconds, and then I'll check in about 30 seconds time. Take another breath in and breath out. Well done. And we're going to slowly, you might want to use that hand on the floor, just really slowly, really gently, start to make your way back to the middle, back to the centre. When you get there again, you might just want to ease the shoulders. You may want to give the legs a little bit of a shake out. Maybe a little bit of a pummel, Which can feel quite nice. Okay, a little bit of a squeeze. Good. And then we'll move over to the other side. So, moving over any props that you had. Shuffling a little bit, adjusting if you need to. Starting to make your way down. Okay, maybe this side needs a little bit something different. This is a tighter side. You might actually need to go a little bit higher or a little bit lower. So again, listening to your body, listening to your inner voice a little bit here. And then we've got the hand supporting the head and the arm on its nice little stable shelf. You can even have it on your leg if you wanted to. And with your left arm now, maybe doing something different with this arm. Maybe the shoulder is a little bit more welcoming of being elevated. Perhaps that needs to hang down a little bit as well. And we'll take a breath or two. A little sigh, always feels nice, a little sigh out. And we're starting to become a little bit still again on this side. So think about maybe like as if you're going around the house, turning off the lights in the room one by one, relaxing the face, shoulders, maybe the chest a little bit, maybe just slightly softening a little bit the ribs, softening the belly, relaxing the belly. Think about the possibility of also relaxing organs. We can hold a lot of stress in our gut, in our intestines, and our small intestines as well, especially. So think about this idea, or actually you can really do it, relaxing a little bit internally, organs, stomach, we might be holding or tensing. And the legs can be pretty heavy here. We haven't got to do anything with them, anything with anything. Eyes closed or softly open. And the more still we become, the more we can feel the body communicating. It's speaking to you, and we're trying to listen to just that now. So again, not even the sound of my voice now, or any of the distractions that probably are there. There'll be something there at some point, coming back to a method or a tool, if it helps you, to stay as calm in your mind, as still, as steady, as present in the moment, not fast forwarding into the future, next school term, next week, next whatever, or going back into the past, staying as present in this moment as you can. So again, I'm going to be quiet for about 30 seconds or so, and just using any tool or just staying as quiet as you need to, and hopefully enjoying a little bit of peace here. Again, perhaps we've been pulled away by some distraction, and not getting annoyed about that or anything really, trying to not respond, just knowing that you can come back to where you were. You can use the distraction actually as a way of reminding yourself, I can return back to somewhere peaceful and calm and quiet by focusing on the breath or focusing on my mantra, whatever it may be. Let's take a few more breaths on this side. We're going to be coming out slowly very shortly. Well done, everybody. And we're going to lower the arm if we've got it raised. And we'll start to slowly bring ourselves back to the centre. And again, you might just want to move a little bit the shoulders. Or reach up with both arms. And you may want to move anything out of the way now. So you can start to help just bring your legs back together. And they might need like a little shake out, maybe a little supported shake out using the hands. So it might not feel like we've done a lot of poses there, but the length of time we've held them for in a passive way and practice stillness a little bit with our minds and a little bit of mindfulness really will hopefully go a long way. So finally, we will either stay sitting, if you're comfortable sitting, or if you want to lie flat on your back, you can, or really in any comfortable position. You might want to grab a blanket, wrap yourself over, feel warm, feel comfortable. Just taking a few moments here to not do any pose or any stretch now, and just to sit still with the body for a few moments. If you'd like to bring your hand, let's say left hand to the heart, maybe your right hand to the belly. So it's nice just to feel you're connecting back to you. Yeah, your hands are on your body. There's that feeling of touch. You're back home to yourself. And as you maybe soften the eyes or close them, just noticing the feeling of your internal rhythms here. You can feel your heart maybe against the left hand. Or sometimes if we're really listening, that feeling of internal energy or movement, even though we're still, that feeling of internal movement or energy. And together and slowly we'll finish the practice by taking a slow and deep breath in through the nose and out through the lips, releasing or maybe blowing out any last or lingering tension or anything there still. We'll do that again. Take a nice deep breath in and out through the lips, letting that go. It's nice just to visualise, sometimes like you're almost blowing something away you don't need. One more time, nice deep breath in and out through the lips. Well done. And then let's rub the palms together. Use the back of the hands, the palms. Try to find new ways. Again, think about skin as your second nervous system really. So the skin on skin contact is another form of stimulation and connection to something comforting, soothing, calming. So finding new ways is always nice, just to help make that connection. There's a little bit of squeezing, inner arms, a bit of stroking, and maybe that moves into the shoulders, chest, ribs, back, front, and maybe even down a little bit into legs there. Well done. So really well done. I hope that was useful. I hope I gave you a little bit of relaxation time for you. Feel free to drop me any comments, any feedback, any requests. I'm really here to support you guys as much as I possibly can with some of the amazing tools of yoga, and there's lots of them. Take care of yourselves. Reach out if you need anything at all. Much love. See you soon.